moving on to a more dark and dreary kind of subject here. Last little news article we got here. So, if you've been paying attention to a lot of the reviews coming out for Shadow of War, a lot of it's getting universal praise. Everyone's saying it's a step up from the original one, but critic reviews kind of seem to all be complaining about the same thing, which is the game's true ending is locked behind a tedious grind to actually get you to get up to that point, or you have to go through and buy the microtransactions. This was one of the fears we talked about that I had when we talked about microtransactions in Shadow of War, and really them putting them in there and making it a tedious grind to get people to entice people to buy these. It's not a practice that I want to see continue. I think the incorporation of microtransactions in video games is something that AAA video games especially should not be there, unless it's like for cosmetic things. But if you're locking weapons that you get to progress your character behind these microtransactions, it takes the fun out of the game.
Yeah.
I go
on.
True.
Oh, you want to go now? You can go first.
No, go ahead.
You sure?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Yeah, I don't know. You said that these were critics saying that this is kind of their problem with the game.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Like, I've come to like the realization that sometimes critics, I don't know, like if they're just trying to bash the game or trying to find something wrong with it. But if it is hidden behind a microtransaction type content where you have to pay more money for the true ending, I can see where that could really kind of bother people. I mean, I don't want. It's for me. I guess I just can't grasp it. That like, why would you hide a true ending behind microtransactions? Granted, I'm guessing you can grind or get there by means of like legit play. But is it gonna take hours? Is it gonna freaking take days? Are you gonna waste your life just to get that true ending? Is it even a true ending, or is it just like a little thing extra? Like, oh yeah, you did everything. Here you go. Here's a little extra piece of content for you. Like, I just
from my understanding from people who have gotten a chance to play the game early, they are saying that if without microtransactions, you're looking anywhere from 25 to 40 hours of grinding just to get this true ending.
that might be my problem. I'll find out Tuesday, which I will pick it up. But it's just, I don't think that microtransactions, I don't think they really should be in a single player game. I don't know why. I just feel like they don't have any place.
This is something that, if this is true, is actually going to prevent me from buying this game. Play to win has no place in this type of or pay to win. I don't know. Did I say play? Pay to win has no place in this type of thing whatsoever. And this is something that I actually absolutely despise. And you'll get the people that will argue, you don't have to do it. There's other ways to do it and that sort of thing. But the fact that it's there almost undermines everything you're trying to do playing the game to begin with. So
Agreed.
The fact that it's there, it just kind of taints the whole progression curve to begin with. And that's something that is honestly enough for me to look at this game and go, it's at least having me look at it right now and take pause with it. I'm going to wait and see. I'm kind of glad I didn't pre-order this one, because I don't want to be roped in. And honestly, what we talked about before kept me from pre-ordering this, with all the microtransactions that were supposed to be involved with this sort of game. And that thing led me to not pre-order it to begin with. So if this is something that is going to be the case, then I honestly am not going to want anything to do with it.
And I mean, I'm right there with you. I will give high praise to Shadow of Mordor. I loved that game. When they announced that they were making a sequel, I'm like, hell yeah, I'm gonna be there day one to buy it. But as soon as I heard that there were microtransactions, I said, you know, I'm gonna wait and play it out because I'm afraid they're gonna make this too much of a grind to get people to buy those. And everything I keep on hearing from it, it's seeming like that's becoming a reality.
Yeah, I just want to know, like, what part of it is, like, why would you need to grind? That's what I'm thinking, because if you really think about Shadow of Mordor, it was really all skill based. You know, if you were good at the game and you were good at timing all these freaking blocks and everything, you could probably get through some of the harder sections just by being good. I don't want that this microtransaction thing is gonna make me to where I have to like level up or like I have to do certain things to progress in the game. Because if it's that way, I mean, it's obviously I'm gonna freaking talk about it because I already bought the freaking statue of that damn game, which I hate myself now, which I probably won't do in the future anymore. But it's just, yeah, I don't want it to be to where it's at the point where I have to pay money to kind of just progress in the game. Basically, if you really think about it, that's what it's becoming. Is that if you have to get the true ending or have to get a certain ending by just using microtransactions or you grind for 1,000,000 hours, it's going to hurt the game. It's really going to hurt the game.
That's kind of an interesting perspective, a way to look at it. So you're almost looking at it like, and without saying it, you're kind of saying this. You're saying that the game might have changed its mechanics, might have changed the way it's played to incorporate a system of microtransactions to make you need to buy microtransactions, and that itself has changed the core integrity of the game itself. That's very interesting. I never really looked at it that way, and that just makes it seem all the more slimy, all the more crappy. Look, and this goes back to the whole games as a service thing. This whole thing is about money, right? Every single thing is about money. And it's hard to argue that, you know, games are too expensive at this point. I went over this in a couple of videos. Games are actually not as expensive as they were back in the day, and if you adjust for inflation, it's really not even close. Games are one thing that have kind of avoided the whole inflation thing. So, obviously, they need to make money, and they deserve to make money because they're producing something. Microtransactions are a good way to make up the difference there. If it's pay to win, like I said, it's a terrible idea. I think you're hurting more than you're helping. I don't know why companies don't go forward more with cosmetic microtransactions and make that the overwhelming majority of microtransactions. I honestly don't. That's where their placement should be, because people will buy that stuff. They will. They will buy, you know, the cloud outfit for Lightning in Final Fantasy 13. They'll buy that. Lots of people will buy it. You could make the price all over the place. People would still buy it. If the game's good and it's worth playing, hell, I'll even buy it. I've been known to buy a different car, too, for Rocket League because it looks cooler. The DeLorean, I'll buy that for Rocket League, stuff like that. You know? So that's where the placement of microtransactions should be. That's where they should be trying to make up the price difference.
Well, I mean, and even cosmetics can get into the shady part of it. I mean, you haven't played Destiny yet, Nom, but PowerUp and I have invested quite a bit of time into Destiny, and one of the things they changed was the shaders. They've made it a consumable item rather than just outright buying the design for your armor once and getting to keep it. They've unlocked it behind loot crates, so you don't always get the armor color that you want. It's completely random based at that point. And when you do, you use that shader once, it's gone. You can't take it off of your costume and reuse it for another one. You want that one, you have to buy the shit with microtransactions and hope and pray you get that color all over again. Mm-hmm. So I mean, there's even ways to go about doing it with cosmetics that I feel is completely wrong and ridiculous and shouldn't be added in there.
Yeah, and that sort of thing is totally understandable. something, and I know you kind of want to get to loot boxes here. Um, you should, to some degree, have an idea of what as long as it's cosmetic, you should have an idea of what you're paying for and what you're getting. I'll just say that for now.
It's like Persona 5 does. It's complete fan service the way that they've gone in and added all these different outfits from all these past Shin Megami Tensei titles for people who want to wear an outfit from Persona 4, Shin Megami Tensei 4, outfits like that. That's the way I feel like to go about microtransactions or DLC. It doesn't take away from the game. It just adds things to it for people who are into that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I totally agree. That's what I meant when I was saying this about microtransactions being cosmetic. It should be along those lines. Obviously, you could find a way to get shady with anything, and as long as there's money involved, people will ultimately degrade themselves to doing stuff like that. But yeah, just microtransactions need to stay, I think, cosmetic in that exact capacity.
Another thing to do horribly wrong, I'm never going to play the game because I absolutely hate sports games. Not my thing. But NBA 2K18, if you guys haven't heard what's going on with that, the haircuts are microtransactions. You buy a haircut, you're stuck with that haircut. You don't get to keep the haircut that you unlocked. You want to get another haircut again, you have to go back and repurchase that with in-game currency that you can either get through grinding tediously or using microtransactions to get.
Yeah,
so businesses are getting smart.
Yeah, and slimy at the same time.
Yeah. It's just, I don't know, I feel like this is really gonna hurt Warner Brothers if it's all wrong and if it is what they're saying it is. Because really, okay, let me ask you guys something. Would you guys have already bought Shadow of War if they wouldn't have mentioned nothing about microtransactions?
I would have had it on pre-order, yeah.
Alright.
Exactly.
Alright, look. So look right there. They just lost 2 sales. That's $120 that you were going to fork over for the game. Let's just say $30 was going to go to them. That's still $60 that they could have had. And that's just out of 3 of us.
Right, and then it raises questions for future releases too.
Yeah, and so now we're not even sure if we're gonna
over anything.
Yeah, we're not even sure if we're gonna buy later games or anything like that. Like, it's just, it can really hurt the company. But I don't know.
It makes me sick because you see games like The Witcher that just gave out free content to their people and said, hey, here, this is stuff that just adds to the game. We're not really going to make a profit off of it. We're giving this to you for free. And then we have shit like this that pops up, and you're just like, why?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that kind of brings us into another topic we were talking about, which also has to do with microtransactions. But loot boxes. Loot boxes, more or less, for those of you who do not know, they are random. They are randomly based things, like we were talking about Destiny, like we were talking with Shadow of War. What you get is completely based off of luck, and you can use in-game currency, but yet those microtransactions are put in there to make you buy it, to make you do it. You get them, and they're completely random based. So the question I'm asking is this basically considered gambling? I mean, some games have even gone as far to make, when you buy loot boxes and open up loot boxes, to make the sounds gambling machines would make to give people that feel, addictive personalities. Oh, what am I going to win next? So, thoughts, opinions on that. What do you think, Power Up? Is that order?
Okay, yeah, I do think that, at this point, if you really think about it, it could turn into something like that. I'm going to go ahead and use the example I always use, which people are probably tired of hearing me say this, but I mean, it's the best example I got. Halo 5, the perfect way to describe the way gambling is, because really, everything's random. There's no guarantee you'll get certain armor. It's just like, hey, the only way to unlock armor is by getting these freaking rec packs, and by getting these rec packs, you have to fork over the cash, or you're going to have to grind for 2 hours to get enough points to get it. And legit, it takes about 2 hours to get one of these gold packs. You'll have one permanent unlock, which is an armor unlock, and then the rest is like just random crap that you might get. And which is one of the reasons why I didn't like the game, because really, what am I playing the game for? I'm not. There's no guarantee you're going to get a certain armor that you want, and there are people who will go in there and they will straight up, they'll fork over that $100 to get like 50 rec packs or something, just to try and get the armor for them to not get the armor that they want. And let me just tell you, in Halo 5, there's like, I think there's like 200 different pieces of armor, like for just helmets. So just count that, like 200 different helmets. Go, each armor has their own set. So it just got ridiculous. And really, it is. It's kind of like gambling, if you really want to look at it that way.
Thoughts on it, Nom?
I think so. We're looking at gambling as a negative connotation. I think if we're going to do that, it has to carry a lot of weight. And there's two ways to look at it. And I think you can consider it gambling as long as you have a chance to either get A, nothing, or B, nothing but stuff you already have. To the point where you're putting money into this and you might not get something that's going to be of use to you at all. You know, you get something you already have, or you get just nothing at all. So I wouldn't be quick to call it gambling if those weren't in place. You know, as long as you're getting something out of it and you know the chance is random, I think you kind of almost can equate this to, you know, like buying a pack of Pokemon cards, because you really don't know what you're going to get, but you're going to get something. And when you gamble in like a casino, you have a chance to walk away with absolutely nothing, to lose your money completely. So unless those things are in place, you know, the chance to get nothing out of a loot box, or the chance to get only things that you already have and have no use for multiples of, then I think, yeah, you could call that situation gambling. And honestly, that particular set of scenarios there shouldn't exist. Like, that should not be the case at all. That should never be a thing in video games. That would be gambling, and that sort of thing needs to stay in the casinos and online poker and stuff like that. So, yeah, I would call it gambling if it met that criteria, and if it does meet that criteria, I think that's stupid and that really doesn't have a place. Like, if you open a loot box and you get nothing but things you already have, or you open a loot box and it's like, oh, this one didn't have anything in it, sorry, like that.
Oh,
no,
damn.
let's stay away from that.
And you know that's kind of what loot crates are going towards anyways, is you can open it, oh hey, I just got the same of everything I already had, I'm not getting anything from it, I have the same of this outfit, I have 2 of this gun now. But you know, the reason I brought that up, and the reason I thought it was an interesting subject to talk about, is because we have children playing video games. We already know that one of the things the ESRB system rates games for is simulated gambling. So we're putting loot boxes, which is in a sense kind of, you know, taking a chance on what you get, and spending money on, and giving this to kids who are under the legal age to gamble. So is there some kind of moral high ground that needs to be done? Do games that incorporate that, do they need to come up with stricter things? Do they just flat out need to rate these games mature? I mean, not that I'm saying any of those scenarios should happen. I'm just saying, you know, we're letting our kids play these games that have this kind of mechanic of using real cash to get these things.
Right, and I think if it meets the criteria, like I said, then that's something you need to look at. Other than that, I think it should be treated like any type of transaction in any game. That this is a game here that has other side transactions to it. That little warning that they put on things would apply. But if it did meet the criteria that I stated before, then I think something like that should be considered gambling and should be noted as gambling within the game's rating system.
Yeah. No, I get. Yeah, I totally agree with you. No, I guess I didn't look at it that way. It's like, yeah, you're not getting anything, but if anything, we're probably gonna get to that point where, like Spoon said, you probably will get to that point where we're not going to be getting anything, and at that point, there'll be something else to talk about. Might even have a little bit of age restriction on there.
There'll be a lot to talk about if that happens.
Oh yeah.